Hi everyone, my name is Kasey Drake, and in this presentation, I'm exploring the work of Ansel Adams and looking how his use of contrast, atmosphere, and structure shaped his photography. I'll walk through a few of his major images using Lester's perspectives and then show how I applied some of those ideas in my own riff. So in this video essay, I'll start with a brief history of Ansel Adams. Then I want to take a closer look at two of his key works using Lester's perspectives. After that, I'll walk through my own riff, how I approached my photo, especially using the ideas inspired by Adams. And then I'll finish with a side-by-side comparison along with a few key takeaways. Ansel Adams is one of the most influential American photographers of the 20th century. He was known for his dramatic black and white landscapes of the American West, especially Yosemite National Park. He wasn't just a photographer, he was a lifelong environmentalist and a major figure in the Sierra Club. He also formed the group F64, which pushed for extremely sharp and detailed imagery. And he developed the zone system, which was a method that gave photographers precise control over exposure, contrast, and tonal values. Adams' work didn't just document nature, it shaped how Americans imagine the landscape. I really like these portraits of Adams because they help show more of who he was behind the camera. He spent much of his life hiking through the American West with large format equipment that often weighed over 40 pounds. So his connection to nature, it started early, especially after visiting Yosemite National Park as a child. He spent decades returning to those same landscapes year after year after year. Adams believed photography could motivate people to protect the environment, so much that he expressed his concerns to Gerald Ford when he was personally visiting the White House. His images were used by the National Park Service and the Sierra Club to support conservation efforts. That's why for him, photography wasn't just art, it was a bigger mission to preserve the American landscape. One of Adams' most iconic works is Moonrise. I chose it because it captures so many qualities that define his style, especially with the dramatic skies, the precise tonality, and a deep emotional presence. Using Lester's perspectives, I looked at Moonrise in layers. In the foreground, the illuminated cemetery crosses and the adobe buildings create this strong emotional and cultural meaning, getting off themes of mortality and spirituality and community. In the background, the rising moon becomes the anchor of the image. The quiet stillness of the moon contrasts sharply with the darker sky, which helps create more of like that tension and that awe. In the background, Adam's technical mastery is honestly undeniable. The tonal separation across the mountains and the clouds reflects his deep control over exposure through the zone system. So this image wasn't luck. This image was crafted through precision. The second photograph I focused on is Clearing Winter Storm, which was also taken in Yosemite. It captures the moment right after a storm when the fog starts to lift and the valley really starts to reveal itself. In Clearing Winter Storm, Adam combines emotional, cultural, and technical qualities to help elevate the landscape. Emotionally, the drifting fog and the dramatic clouds create a feeling of renewal and like that quiet awe. Culturally, the valley has become a symbol of American identity and conservation. Technically, the balanced tones across the snow and the granite and the sky help showcase Adam's precision. This image goes far beyond documentation because it reflects his belief that nature carries symbolic meaning and that photography can help preserve it. For my riff, I chose a picture I took at the range in Lubbock, Texas. The sky immediately caught my attention, especially whenever it was in color, but to match, the purpose of the project. If you are from West Texas, you know that Lubbock is known for its sunsets. And so I wanted to explore how Adams uses atmosphere and contrast, but bring those ideas into a more modern and everyday environment. Through Lester's perspectives, I was able to break down my own image. Emotionally and aesthetically, the dramatic skies help serve as that anchor, similar to many of Adams' compositions. The bright clouds against the darker ground guide the viewers across the frame. Culturally, the setting reflects a contemporary social environment. So the silhouetted figures, the signage, the casual outdoor setting highlight everyday American culture. which contrasts with the grandeur of Adam's wilderness scenes. Technically, I relied on tonal separation and the backlighting to help create depth. Shooting in black and white helped emphasize structure, shadow, and atmosphere, echoing Adam's use of contrast. So when comparing my photographs side by side, I chose Adam's The Golden Gate Before the Bridge, and I focused on the role of the cloud formations. So in Adam's image, the clouds expand the sense of space and create atmospheric grandeur. In my photo, the sky plays a similar role. It creates mood and depth, but within a contemporary cultural setting. Adam uses clouds to elevate a natural landscape, while my image uses them to transform an everyday scene into a moment of visual significance. The comparison showed me how the same visual tools, contrast, atmosphere, and layered depth, can operate across totally different contexts. Working through these images helped me understand how contrast and atmosphere and emotional clarity can help shape powerful photographs that you can easily find in the beauty of the little things outdoors. Studying atoms made me more intentional about noticing things like light and structure and depth in my own work. What surprised me most was just how advanced Adam's work was for his time. The level of detail that he captures, the sharpness and the tonal control that he achieved with the equipment he had, to me is just absolutely incredible. It honestly made it difficult for me to choose which piece of his that I wanted to focus on because so many of them were just so stunning. And working on my own riff made me appreciate how complex true black and white photography is. In this day and age, filters today make it pretty easy, but the natural light that Adams captured, to me, especially the timing of the day, is just on another level. This project helped me slow down. It helped me look more carefully and see the expressive potential places I might normally overlook.